We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network, hanging out with you on this glorious Monday. We woke up, so it's a good day, right? Would we agree with that?
This is absolutely a great Monday because my Eagles are still undefeated. We're in the
I was
World
going a little
Series.
philosophical there, but nobody really bid on it. But that's
no, never.
He waxed poetic.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at this thing from an offensive perspective for the Eagles. So they win 35-13. And mentioned that weird stat where they only had one play in the red zone and they put up 35 points, which is really crazy when you think about it. But collectively as a team, it's the first time since 2004 that they've been 7-0. It's the second time in franchise history. But I will tell you, I thought it was a brilliant performance from Jalen Hurts. And I know AJ Brown, rightfully so, taking a lot of the headlines, 6 catches, $156. 3 touchdowns, and that 156 is a career high. But Hurts' touch, his willingness to throw now when guys are maybe covered, like the adjustment that AJ made on that first touchdown with basically 3 Steelers around him, including Micah Fitzpatrick. That's something we didn't see last year, where he's willing to make that kind of throw. I just thought, and the creativity, you're seeing different looks than what they got before the bye week, and that's a tribute to Steichen and Sirianni. But guys, just amazing performance offensively for the Birds.
Here's what I found most interesting about it. Somebody identified that we could attack with AJ Brown whoever the Steelers tried to cover him with early on.
Yep.
They went at it right away, and no matter what they tried to do, they could not stop AJ Brown. The first touchdown, Micah Fitzpatrick misjudged the ball, flighted the ball. That should have been a pick. He misjudged the flight, but A.J. Brown's hand strength is incredible. I equate it to a DeAndre Hopkins, in terms of just his hand strength alone to take balls away from people. It was a great throw. Normally you would say, don't throw that ball because he was in double coverage. He did anyway, and A.J. made it look spectacular. But no matter how they tried to roll the coverage, they couldn't get to A.J. Brown one iota. And they felt the passing game in general would be more efficient than trying to run a ball against them, because I said earlier, when you look up and you look at the rushing numbers that they had in the first half and the total rushing yards in the first half, you're thinking, what the heck? And they were up, 21-7 at the point? And you're thinking, no matter, and that's why I said on our post-game show yesterday, Shane Steichen does not get enough credit for how he calls a game. Goddard wide open. They had receivers wide open. Now, they had a lot of miscommunication on the back end of that Steelers defense, and the Eagles made them pay dearly for it.
Yep.
Prime example, that touchdown to Pascal, you see the corner come up. They bit on the under route. I believe it was Goddard in the flats. Two DBs bite on the underneath route. There goes Pascal, boom, perfect dunk. But, when the pressure was in Jalen's face, he delivered the goods, The one thing I thought was interesting, for the second time this season, I saw a Steelers defense, like Dallas's defense, that was very disciplined in terms of not over-rushing Jalen Hurts. They made Jalen step up, and 3 times he tried to step up, and he said after the game that he stepped up too far in the pocket. It resulted in a sack. But for the most part, they could do whatever they wanted to do against this team and team at will. And I still have – we're not getting there yet on the other side of the ball. That's another story. But I just love –
You're really going to complain about a defense that gave up 13?
No, I'm going to complain about 2 elements of a defense.
Okay.
No, I'm not
You've
complaining
been around
about
Seth
the
too
defense.
long.
Seth,
man.
this ain't nothing to do with Seth. This is my observation.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one of my observations, Seth went, you know what, D-Gun, you're right. It's not Seth at all. No.
All right.
Seth cannot influence me, Mr. Brooks.
D-Gun is not influenceable. Is that a word?
Wow, let me look that up.
Yes.
Influenceable.
According to Siri,
According
to Siri, you made up some gibberish right there.
Not the first time and not the last that I will make up gibberish. I can promise you that much. Barry, your impressions of what you saw on the offensive side yesterday.
You talking about Shane Steichen has complete trust in Jalen Hurts' ability to play quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at the game plan yesterday, it wasn't the read option that they did yesterday. It wasn't really RPOs. Of course, they run that, but Jalen they trusted Jalen just being in the pocket. It was straight drop back pass.
Yep.
It was drop back pass they had. They weren't trying to run play action or anything.
Yep.
It was drop back pass, which is just another level of complete trust in Jalen. Jalen trusts himself and him just throwing like a drop back quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that was amazing to me because they totally changed. How do you sit back and defense this team?
Mm-hmm.
They can run an RPO or they can run read option.
Mm-hmm.
They can just hand it off to the running back. They can sit now in the pocket and drop back pass. A lot of these dual threat quarterbacks won't do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they have perfect trust in Jalen Hurts' ability to do anything that he wants to do and comfortable with him being in the pocket and throwing down the field. Now, my guy, the big fella, I mean, when I look at
who you talking about?
Jordan Mailata, the big fella, had a tough day yesterday.
Yeah, man. Alex Highsmith gave him all he can handle.
A tough day.
And Highsmith's good, but you're right. Jordan had a tough day. He did.
But it was just straight drop back pass.
But I'll tell you the one, even beyond all the touchdowns, which were unbelievably impressive. Remember early when they went for it on fourth down? The play call was freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It was brilliant. And like, I'm just like, these guys talk it and they back it up. Like there was a whole, hey, we're going to correct things that we saw in the first 6 games and we're going to fix this and fix that and be better at this. They gave you unique looks the whole day. They're doing different things now. You know, the quarterback is I mean, he was brutal on himself after the game. So, talking about, how there were plays he should have made. He should have done this. He should have done that. It makes them better. They're just, Barrett, you're right. They can hurt you in so many ways. They can hurt you through the air, on the ground, RPOs.
Did you hear what AJ said? AJ was so tough on himself yesterday. He was acting like he didn't even win.
Yeah, he was angry because he had a couple drops.
Yeah, he said, I had a drop. I mean, he was talking about he left a lot on the field. He said that on the play, on one of the plays, it should have been a touchdown, but he let a defender. Well, no, he didn't say he let the son take that reception away. He was pissed off that he couldn't see it and he didn't catch it and he dropped it. I mean, that just goes to show this team can take it to another level even now because they're not satisfied on how they played. 35, they scored 35 on them.
They have higher expectations for themselves than we do of them.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. When you're not satisfied with where you are or what you've contributed, even though people on the outside looking in are wowed by the numbers, that's a good thing. That's focus right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
look, I think it starts from 2 primary sources. Obviously, the veterans there. You have a lot of quality veteran guys.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to discount them. But I think the 2 real driving forces are the head coach and the quarterback, man. When it comes to this team never being satisfied.
It was no distinction between anybody. I mean, they didn't run the ball. Nobody really cared that they didn't run the ball. They ran an offense that they saw something in that they wanted to take advantage of, and they ran plays to do it. I think let me see how many plays they had in the game.
But while you're checking that out, 54. Yeah. But Barrett, here's the thing, and Derek, I hear this sometimes. I don't mean you two guys, but I hear from people sometimes saying like, hey man, why do they only have, X amount of rushes in the first half? One of the reasons is the Eagles recognized a weakness in Pittsburgh's secondary and exploited it. Like, I don't care how you score. Just score.
Right.
We get too caught up in that sometimes. Like, oh, they weren't that balanced yesterday. They won 35-13. It's
so
weird
what?
to me.
So what?
Who cares?
Right.
They ran it.
And we know it's there. Like, in other words, the 2 previous games that we saw, they ran the ball down the other team's throat to close a game out. We know they can do that if they have to. It's not like the follow-up usually is, oh, they won against Pittsburgh, but what are they going to do if they have to run the ball against X, Y, or Z? They can run the ball. Don't worry about it. Like I'll guarantee you this. Against this Texans team they're playing Thursday, that's the worst team in the NFL against the run.
Goodness. Oh.
They will pound it down their throat.
Oh, my goodness. When you think about what Derrick Henry did to that defense yesterday, it was like watching wishbone left, wishbone right.
Yeah.
My goodness. And and the numbers are going to look gaudy again on Thursday night. And they'll get another like mini bye week after that.
You're right, D-Gun. You're right, bro.
And heal up and get ready for what's to come.
Yeah.
I just look at I look at it, man. It just even in the play selections that they had, just like you said on the play that to basically they ran a pick. It wasn't a pick play, but it was Goddard. Goddard brought both of the defenders by him just running a little in route, running right there, and that's something we hadn't seen before that they brought out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Zach Pascal is running wide open because they've been to Goddard. They trust. They thought. I mean, let's talk about him. That's really.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about Goddard.
Yeah.
Did you see that catch that he had on that drag right across the field? When he turned around, back around, get it, and brought it back in, and then
one hand that would have been a pick, Barrett. The defender's right there,
right?
And it got no love. Like it was just like, I'm like, no, that's a great catch.
Exactly. And then, just like we said, Pascal scores because everybody knew in the spot that they were going to Goddard on the play. Goddard turns around, he runs around, makes himself available to the quarterback. Both defenders collapse on him, and there goes Pascal running wide open for a touchdown. That just comes from their ability to distribute the ball, and everybody's trying to pick up on their tendency. Everybody thought their tendency in this game was going to be to run the ball. And they go out there and throw away from the tendency. They can go out and run the ball whenever they want to, but they just wanted to pass it. They wanted to give everybody in the league and put them on notice and look, if we want to drop back pass and throw it, we can do this all day. We trust him enough that we can get it to him. I mean, just, everything was just dropping right there. And also, I say it again, we talk about trust in between his receivers and himself. It's unbelievable, man. AJ Brown, not a huge catch radius, but like I said, a forgiving catch radius. Hurts threw a ball up for the touchdown, and he actually threw it into double coverage. But Hurts just throws it up there, knowing that AJ Brown, like he said in his post game, hey, if I don't catch it, nobody catches it.
That's right.
And he caught it for a touchdown in front of one of the best safeties in the league.
That's right.
One of the best, Minka Fitzpatrick.
He wasn't willing to do that last year. And look, the upgrade from Reagor to Brown, there isn't even really a they didn't create those kind of words. But he is willing to do that where he wasn't last year. He's willing to work the middle of the field that he wasn't as comfortable in last year. He's climbing the pocket better. He's rolling to his left when he has to occasionally. He's not just looking to take off. We're seeing a guy evolve in front of our very eyes at a really quick, pace. He's still young. He's younger than Kenny Pickett, who started the game for the Steelers yesterday, just to put it in perspective. That's how young Jalen Hurts is. We kind of act like he's been around forever because he carries himself like that.
Right.
Like a veteran who's played for 13, 14 years, but he's still very young here. This is his second full year as a starter.
Can you believe that, man? I mean, Kenny Pickett is a rookie, and Jalen's been in the league 4 years, and he's older than he is.
Crazy. Yeah,
that is ridiculous.
It really is. So, but it's pick your poison. It's Jalen Hurts doing his thing. It's RPOs. It's Dallas Goedert. By the way, they have 3 guys on pace for over 1,000 yards in receiving. It's Sanders. When they decided they're going to run it in the second half, Miles Sanders ran it really well.
I love his running style now.
He's way tougher. He's not trying to bounce everything. He is way tougher now.
I like his patience in his running. Kind of like Le'Veon Bell used to run the ball.
Yeah. He
has the patience. Let the hole develop in front of him. He's running where he's supposed to run as opposed to trying to break everything outside. He is becoming a very consistent back, not putting the ball on the ground. Knock on wood. But this is this was the expectation that I have from him over the past 3 years anyway. He's supposed to do that leaving Penn State.
Yeah.
That's what we saw from him at Penn State. He's a much better version of what I thought he was going to be now than at any point, even his rookie year when he was catching everything and running hard. And, he looks better now than he looked at any point, even in college.
Well, the biggest transformation for him is he's sticking his foot in the ground and turning up the field. Yes. He's not tap dancing behind the line of scrimmage anymore like Sammy Davis Jr., okay? I'm serious. I mean, that was his
Davis
biggest
Jr.
problem. He was always trying to find that hole, that one definitive hole, and it wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, now whoever got to him and said, look, dude, this is how you run behind a zone blocking scheme. Obviously, the light has gone on this year, more so than ever before in his young career. Because as you see now, when he gets the ball, it's straight ahead. There's no more hesitation. When he's going to the outside, stick your foot in the ground, turn, find the open seam, cut back against the grain, whatever you have to do. There's no hesitation in his game now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at yesterday, he had only 9 carries. He averaged over 8 yards a carry on 9 carries.
Yep.
Bro, that comes from Howard. Howard, when he got hurt and he watched Howard and
Jordan
saw how
Howard,
they used Jordan Howard, and they saw how they were using him, he's like, man, I better get my stuff together because Howard is making it happen right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
The Eagles are going to make an interesting decision. He's a free agent, and he's not alone. There's a lot of free agents, but whatever. That's a discussion for another time. But I wonder if they don't try and get something done during the season with him.
If they can get it for a discount now.
At a reasonable number, before the year. Now, here's the thing. I don't know what the market's going to look like. The running back market is a weird one, generally. So, but no, he was really good. Goddard was really good. Brown. It was a pretty quiet day for the most part from Devontae, but that's all right. I mean, the offense is so good, it doesn't matter. Let me throw this one at you guys. So Hurts in 2021 had 2 touchdown passes that were 25 yards or longer. Okay, 2. In the game yesterday, he had 4 that were 25 or longer.
Oh yeah,
Yesterday. How about the stat they threw out there on the TV broadcast? CBS did. The Eagles, as a team, going into yesterday, had scored more points in the second quarter than Pittsburgh had scored the entire year.
Yeah. Pittsburgh had 107 points for the entire year going into that game.
This stuff is unbelievable. I feel like people think you're making this stuff up. It's incredible what they're doing.
Right. They have and it's almost crazy because you look at here we have Jackson coming off IR, and Jackson is supposed to be, their hot new toy that they had last year, but he got hurt in the last game. It was the last game of the season, right?
You talking Tyree
Jackson, yes.
Yeah, the converted quarterback tight end. Yeah. Yep.
Who and where does he go?
Yeah.
Who does he replace? Who gets sent down? Who gets kicked off the team?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I got a question for you guys. Just to get away from the X's and O's for just a moment, because this was an interesting topic on our post-game show yesterday.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey, once the starters were pulled with like 9 minutes left in the game, is wearing a Batman mask on the sideline.
Yeah.
Now, it looked to me like Jeff Stoutland went over and told him to take it off. The debate, and I'm so looking forward to both of your opinions, and I'll give you mine last. The debate was it disrespectful to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers for a player to be wearing a mask on the opposite sideline, or is it all part of fun and games?
Barrett, why don't you take it first? Then I'll jump in.
From a player standpoint, I can almost guarantee that Kelsey had no disrespect to the opponent. He wasn't doing it in a disrespectful manner.
Right.
He was doing it because that's who he is, and that's what's been talked about the past couple of weeks. But I can see how it could be betrayed to an opposing team. You know what I'm saying? Having those, that type of fun when you're getting your back kicked in and, they're over there having fun. I mean, I equate it to, I can remember watching film when I was in college and my freshman year, and I was just trying to see what was the history of Kansas State. Kansas State, man, my freshman year, and I redshirted. We played in 8 homecoming games. That's how bad Kansas State was. They hadn't won a game in 5 years. Only reason I went to Kansas State because they would let me play basketball, and I played basketball 1 year. But I watched on the sideline one time where Kansas State went to Oklahoma. They were beating them so bad at halftime that Jamel Holloway came back out in the second half with a fur coat on, with diamond earrings, playing with his son.
Oh my God!
Sideline. Talk about disrespect. That's disrespect.
Yeah, that is disrespect.
That's disrespect. I mean, I witnessed that, so I can understand. I've seen disrespect before. That's disrespect. Kelsey putting on a Batman mask is just fun. He was having, with it being Halloween, and he meant no disrespect
Right.
to Pittsburgh and their head coach or anything like that. I can see how Mike Tomlin would take it that way, and he's going to use that when he gets in this meeting today. In fact, they've already met today. He cussed them out. Mike Tomlin went off, and that's what he put up. Look at these guys over there having fun. They got masks over on the sidelines.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's how disrespectful you guys. You guys playing like this just shows to show you how bad you are, how bad we are as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And until we stop the bleeding, teams will continue to make fun of us like this.
Yeah, no, well said. Barrett, I think you summed it up perfectly. Like, I think that I can see where it can be perceived that way for sure. Like, if you're the other team, you're like, these dudes are wearing Halloween costumes now. Like, that's where it's at. I can see where they could be pissed off. I know, knowing Jason Kelsey and what's in his heart, he's not trying to show him up.
Nope.
So if you're asking me, I would probably prefer he didn't do it. That's just me. But I understand what he was doing. He was just having a little fun. It's Halloween. He's trying to support his teammates who will go by Batman. But I don't think it's the greatest look, personally.
It's not the greatest look.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
I think it was in what do you say? I think it was poor taste, but it wasn't done in disrespect.
Yeah.
There was no disrespect.
It was done in a lighthearted manner, I think, to have fun
Yes.
with his teammates, where the opponent could look at it another way. What was the consensus for you guys, Derek? Was the thought that it was disrespectful?
Well, we were split. Missinelli thought it was disrespectful. My take on it was, if you're a coach and the opposing players, and you're worried about another player wearing a mask on the sideline who's out of the game, you got bigger issues than just your one-loss record, first of all.
True.
Because you just got your brains kicked in by your in-state rival, number one.
Yep.
Number two, you didn't even reach your season average in point totals, which is 15.3. You finished with 13?
Yeah.
In this game, too. So you have a lot of bigger issues to fix. In no
Right.
way, shape, or form did it come across my mind that Kelsey was rubbing it in the faces of the opposition. That's not the kind of player he is.
No, not.
It's fun. Nobody said anything when they did the dog mask in 2017 on sidelines. Nobody said, everybody, oh, it's great. That was part of their, identity then. They were the underdogs. When they were winning games, had no problem. When they were beating Minnesota, had no problem people putting on masks then, right?
Yeah. The other thing is, don't get your ass kicked and nobody's wearing Halloween masks on the other side.
Yes.
You don't want to bat flip, strike a guy out.
Yeah, right. You over there getting your ass kicked, and they're doing it to you, so you just got to take it.
It's along the lines of, you have a problem with teams doing these creative, choreographed antics in the end zone after touchdowns. Don't let them score.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, especially you see a defender after he gets a pick, whatever, pick six or whatever.
Absolutely.
Don't turn the ball over, and they're not going to be celebrating in that end zone, getting their picture taken or whatever's going on. Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
For me, Kelsey was just having fun. It was a moment in the game. He knew he was done for the day. It's just having fun. I'm what does he call himself? Fat man or whatever he calls himself?
Batman. Yeah, Batman.
Fat Batman. Yeah. It's a moment
now.
I don't
Batman,
know if
there's skinny Batman, there's fat Batman.
Yeah. So this
Swole Batman had a good day yesterday. That's AJ Brown.
Right.
I have more problems with the excessive celebrations in end zone sometimes than I do with that.
Yeah.
I'm a 5XL man.
You're what? 5XL?
I'm scrawny Batman.
5XL man.
Yeah, I'm not skinny. I'm scrawny Batman.
Wow.
Hey, so interestingly enough, if you look back, they started off 2-5. You remember last year, right? And that's when everything kind of turned around.
Yep.
And they went on a run to finish the year at 9-8. So if you exclude the loss to the Bucs, so I'm talking about regular season here, they're 14-3 in their last 17. That's a whole football season,
bro. The last time they went 7-0 is when they came up to play me and the Steelers that time, and they lost to us back then.
Yeah.
That's the last time they were 7-0, and they were the ones that they were the ones that went to the Super Bowl that year.
That they did. That's the only. So this is the second best start they've had in franchise history. So they just keep showing up every game. They keep being focused when you see almost every single week. There's a lot of teams that aren't. Teams that are talented teams too, that just don't come out to play, week in and week out. And that's the most encouraging thing about this team. Now we'll get into it in a little bit. They had a major injury yesterday. They had a guy, and they've been pretty fortunate to avoid big injuries for the most part. But it's been an amazing start. Hey, I wanted to pass this on NFL wise.
Major injury. What do you mean?
Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis. I mean, it's a pretty significant injury.
Yeah. He could be out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So it is a high ankle sprain. I didn't know that they had the diagnosis.
We haven't heard yet. I'm just saying.
We haven't heard. But he walked out of there.
You guys heard him. Yeah. I thought
you guys
heard.
He walked out of there with a boot and a crutch.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
It's not good especially when you're 340 pounds on that.
No. He'll be 340 if he's out 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's scary too. How does he stay in shape? The Lions have fired their defensive backs coach, Aubrey Pleasant. He has been fired after yet another performance where they give up a ton of points.
Not surprised at all, man.
Hey, just real quick, guys, on the Kelsey thing, because he had a back and forth with Dan Sileo. I think Dan Sileo called him out on it, I guess. But Kelsey replied and said, I have nothing but the most respect for Coach Tomlin on multiple levels, not just the coach. The Batman theme is something our team is having fun with, especially with Halloween being tomorrow. Absolutely no disrespect meant. And then Dan replied, Tracy Rocker, who is their D-line coach, is a former teammate. I'll be voting for you for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So anyway, I think Dan called him out initially, and then Jason responded. Just for what it's worth, to put it all in context.
Plain and simple. You know, why not have fun? I mean, that's what it's all about. You bust your hump for 6 days a week, man.
To have
that fun. And the game basically is the reward for your hard work.
Amen.
No matter what you do, win, lose, or draw, you get yelled at for 6 days. You go over the same things over and over again.
Right.
Okay.
They're going in on
Seals.
Seals gonna get punched in the face. I don't know. I think Dan will give you a run for your money now. In fact, I know he will.
Yeah, I don't think I'm messing with Dan Sileo. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah, you can talk all that.
Proceed with caution is what I would tell you.
Boiling Italian blood going into him.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Plus
you have a fight on your hands now.
You'll find me over there where all that.
Yeah, man. Plus he went to Miami down to Crazy U. He went to Crazy U too.
I don't.
Yeah, you people talk all you want behind your computer screens, bro.
Right.
But if I'm in a junkyard dog fight, I'm gonna be on that dog side over there, man. I'll tell you that right now. Because Big Dan, man, he's a junkyard dog, man. You don't want to mess with Big Dan.
Oh my God! All right, you know what? I pull a little audible. Let's do defense when we get back. Let's keep the Eagles theme rolling here.
Wow, you changed it up on me, huh?
Yeah, why not? Got to keep everybody guessing. But we'll jump over to the defensive side.
Yeah,
why not? Yeah. Why not? So we'll talk some defense because I know, Gunnar, you had a couple issues with things that you saw yesterday, but we'll dive into what's going on with the Birds on that side of the ball. By the way, if we hear anything on Jordan Davis as the show goes, we'll pass that along. Ian Rappaport had the report yesterday that it was a concern about a high ankle. 4 to 6 is usually the timetable when that's the case. So, we'll see. And again, a gigantic human being dealing with a lower leg extremity is not great. I mean, let's face it. So anyway, we'll get into all that when we get back. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue with the Eagles talk a little later. We'll do some Phillies as well. He's Derek. He's Barrett. I'm Rob. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Let's talk about Pro Action Restoration. Pro Action Restoration. If you have a water leak, if you have, unfortunately, fire, smoke, mold, whatever it is in your house, they are the people to call. They are the people to reach out for. It could be your home. It could be your business. It could be a property you own, whatever the case may be. Any of the above would apply. Now, they're on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. I've called them on a Saturday in the morning, and they were right over there. They cleaned up the problem. The crew was amazing. They were clean, professional, etc. Price was right. They're licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company as well. So, it could be fire, it could be water, it could be smoke, mold remediation. And if there's something else going on and you're just not sure, if you can't clean it up, you can't figure out what the issue is, give them a call. They are ready to get over there and give you a hand. Trust me when I tell you. 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or you can reach out online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.